Dear international students audience, on behalf of Latvian Association of Architects, I am very pleased to greet you in Riga for this year's both BAU events, for student workshop or plein air, and the awards. I would like to say very many thanks to my colleague, also from the association, Dace Kalvāne, for practical organization of this event, and also for our both universities, both architectural high schools, Riga Technical University and Riseba. And now let me introduce Kipsala and also the location of this year's workshop. Hopefully this historical insight will help you understand why this site is so important for Latvia and why it has been chosen. So, Kipsala and IslandeSquare history and development. As you can see on this aerial photography, the IslandeSquare is located in the middle of Kipsala Island, next to the Vanšu Bridge, to the beach, to yacht port, and Kipsala has been separated from mainland by Zonda Channel, and it's also called Small Daugava. If you look back into the history, so Riga has been located on banks of river Daugava, and all this area up to the sea, which is on the top of the slide, is rather flat and very sandy. That's the reason why every spring, when ice melted, it blocked up the entrance of the flow into the sea, and so the river very frequently changed its flow. And as you can see near Riga, there are very many islands, and Kipsala Island, which is not right now on this map, it cannot be seen, it is not there yet, but it's approximately is into this location. And in 1786 there was a great flood which swept away almost all the houses in Kipsala. And when Johann Christoph Brotze in 1795 made these drawings of Kipsala Island, it's written that these buildings on the lower right corner has been just restored, or just built. And as you can see, they are very basic, no chimneys, wooden roofs, wood log buildings, and it was area used for fishing and for fishermen settlements. Podraks, it's northern part of from present Kipsala. There were, as you can see, poles with nets hang out for drying, and flat-bottomed boats, and a small hut with some fire for warming up, and also for fishes and so on. If you look through the maps and development of Kipsala over time, so here is in 1839, as you can see, there's still the bank is changing, and Kipsala is not there yet. Yet is a time, beginning of 20th century, here we can already mark the present location of IslandeSquare. So in 1908, it's next to the shore, and as you can see, this dam, which was built during 18th century, in the corner of this dam, so already some sand starts to build up. And here in the next image from 1940, this aerial photography, we can see that sand has already half of the present amount. And here in 1947, when this temporary bridge was made after the Second World War, and the traffic appeared. So that's how this area developed. And the buildings are, as you can see, just on the right side, next to Daugava, and the rest of the area is rather empty. One more historic map from 1883 shows that there are actually two other islands. So it's Badeholm or Bass Island and small Kliversholm, because at that time Kipsala was just the northern part of present Kipsala, and Kliversholm from Badeholm was separated by some water here. Yeah, but times change, and in 1981, Vanchu Bridge was established, which made the circumstances possible for the development of Kipsala possible. Nowadays, Kipsala is rather densely inhabited. IslandeSquare is in the very center. Vanchu Bridge to the right, and this beach on the top, and there are lots of buildings around, about which I'm going to tell you in next few minutes. So we have 4 periods of development in Kipsala. So starting from 1870s, because those old buildings which I showed you on the process drawing, they don't survive until nowadays. But there are other fishermen's houses there, which are on the slide to the right. Then there is already by the beginning of 20th century recreational capacity of this area was discovered. So there were built apartment houses for residents, and also not so many, but there were still industrial. Some buildings, which was a gypsum mill, which was located behind this residential area, and right now it has been converted also to apartments. There are no industrial buildings there anymore. A new stage in development of Kipsala started in the 1960s, when there were huge plans to develop Riga Polytechnical Institute student campus together with building blocks for education. The plans shrinked. Not all of the buildings were built, just the central part, and that's what we see in Kipsala today. It's hostel, it's swimming pool, and also in the lower right corner, Faculty of Architecture. Rebirth of historic buildings started by end of 20th and beginning of 21st century, when both the old buildings were restored, and also some buildings like on top left corner, which were moved from other location, and it altogether forms what now is known as Kipsala Building Collection, and all this area is state monument of city planning of state importance, and the borders are on the lower right corner, the borders of this monument. The other part of the development, which started with this Riga Polytechnical Institute, it also expanded with time. So on the top right corner, there was built exhibition complex, quite large. The swimming pool on lower central part, and on the left you see Olympia shopping center, and quite a huge problem is caused by this exhibition complex, which usually when there are large exhibitions, it attracts quite a lot of visitors, and the entrance to Kipsala is just this one street, and it's usually full of cars, and local residents which live next to River Daugava on the bank on Balastnambis, they are quite unhappy with that, so they are very, very cautious about development of Kipsala further on. And development is coming. Riga Technical University wants to expand their area, and this is like master plan or like vision, just to show the maximum possible development which can be there located on these locations, just the building blocks. And yeah, it's area which and this wish is not quite happily accepted by local inhabitants of Kipsala. One more thing you can see in this image is that IslandeSquare, which is on lower left corner, is kind of entrance gate to the area, and I'll further tell more on that. So, why IslandeSquare? The idea was born in 1998, and the IslandeSquare as such was it was a political event. It was opened by Mayor of Riga in 2011. Commemorating that Iceland in 1991 was the first country which recognized Latvian independence, which was established in August 22, 1991. And so the only thing right now which shows that it is IslandeSquare is a stone, commemorative stone, in the central part, and the rest is just green area. And it's crossed by people who are going from probably bus stop to the university campus. And here is a rather burnt or spotted this map of buildings with building dates. And one more thing which needs to be taken into account is that approximately half of IslandeSquare is crossed by this border of city planning monument. And in general, there are no buildings allowed on this site to be built. So, summarizing this all up, the former neighborhood of residents, so in the 21st century, it has become an exclusive residential area for rather wealthy residents. It is international exhibition center. It is a Riga Technical University student campus, and also recreation area with campsite and a marina, and a sailing school which is located in this in Daugava. And from the former industrial areas like the gypsum factory, they have been reprofiled in recent years, and this cluster has become a green and well-groomed territory on the left bank of Daugava with a view of the old town. So that was my introduction. I hope you got some idea how Kipsala has developed, and I wish you very, very good luck and creative ideas in your workshop, and hope to see good ideas which can be implemented later on for this very important part of Riga.